Okay, welcome to MrGrossosClass.com. This is my website where I try to provide you with both information about what's going on in the classroom as well as learning resources that can help you do well in this class and do well in the CRCT. So the first thing that you're probably going to want to use every day is when you first log into MrGrossosClass.com, you'll see this announcements page, and as you can see it says week 1, and it gives you the dates for week 1. That is the first week of the 9 weeks. Any announcements we have will go here. And then every day I list the essential question that their students are all expected to be able to answer by the end of class, and that helps provide a focus for what we are learning. And then I give you an overview of the lesson so you get an idea of what we did, and if you missed class, you'll know what we did there as well. And then any homework or classwork will be listed under that link. And usually, let's say I give out a worksheet or we do a lab that has instructions, you'll be able to click on it and download it right from here. And so if you miss, let's say you missed Wednesday, you'll be able to come down and go, okay, you did a PowerPoint, and click on the PowerPoint link, and you'll be able to view the PowerPoint, and then it says do worksheet, and then you'll be able to click on it. There's nothing clickable on this particular week, but in the future you'll be able to see stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing. And let's say you want to see, I'm on vacation in 2 weeks. I want to find out what we're doing. So you click on Agenda All Weeks, and you'll be able to see for the whole semester and the whole next semester what are the lesson plans for each week. Now, granted, just keep in mind that these might change. Obviously, when I try to plan this far in advance, I can't anticipate everything. But the goal there is to be able to go back in time and figure out, oh, I see on my grade report he missed this assignment from 2 weeks ago. You can go find it, download it from there, or see what he missed, get some more info. There's also a calendar. As you can see, the sidebar here, we have all the links to all the resources. So we have this week, which is what's going on obviously this week, all the weeks, and then the calendar if you'd prefer to see a calendar view. You can see here, and it has all of the events, real short summary, not as much detail, but for instance, you can quickly see that there's a lab here, a quiz here, etc. Okay, so there's the calendar. Now on to the learning resources. So far that's the biggest part of what you use my website for, is just seeing what we're doing. But the second part are a lot of learning resources. Some of these things students will use in class. Some of these things you can use to give them extra help. If you find they're struggling at something, they're failing all the vocabulary quizzes, then maybe you can come on here and make them do some extra work. Okay, so now to take you on a nice tour of the resources here. If you click on or look at the left side of the website, I have tried to organize all the different resources here on the sidebar. So the first set of resources is vocabulary. And I would really recommend taking some time practicing the vocabulary. If your students are struggling on tests, particularly, you can make them do a little extra work here. If their quizzes aren't, 95s, 100s, they definitely can use some extra work on the vocabulary. And I've tried to make this easy for you not to have to guess what the vocabulary words are or how to study. I've listed all the vocabulary, and I've made study games for them to actually do. So this should be fun for them, and it shouldn't have to pull too many teeth. In the past, I've had students use my Quizlet page and request to do more of it in class because they find it fun. So here's Quizlet. If you go back, you'll see under vocabulary, you have the link to Quizlet. And what Quizlet is a place that allows me to store vocabulary information and make games. So for instance, we'll go on to the Genetics Test 2 link here, and you can see all the vocabulary related to Genetics 2. And just to give you a quick preview, I want you to play around on your own, but a quick preview of what's here. You have flashcards that are up here, or you could do the learn test. These are kind of quizzes that they get to use. And then scatter and space race are two games that the kids love, especially if they're competing with a friend. I'll click on scatter and just show you real quick, because this is one of the things that students really like to do when they're studying. So what you have here is a whole bunch of different things here. You have the vocab words like Human Genome Project, and then definitions. And what the student has to do is race the clock. As you can see up here, I've already killed 12 seconds. I'm going to lose. Okay, so what you have in this game, let's say, for instance, genetic disorder is the vocab word. I can go and try to find the definition as fast as I can, and this is a disorder caused by a bad gene. I match them up, boom, they disappear. And then I'm trying to race the clock again, as you can see, to beat this game. The kids love this. That's one easy way for them to study. We'll go back to the website. And another way that I've organized it much clearer is, let's say you click on the ecology first 9 weeks. You can see all the vocab words and the definitions that they need to know, and then I listed specific Quizlet activities on the right if you want to just look at the flashcards, just look at the test. And then you scroll down, I have even more stuff. I have these flashcards with pictures that they can print out. They can download and print them and cut them up. You can quiz each other with those. Those are fun. And then what I also did is took those pictures and put them into a nice review PowerPoint. And so what will happen here, you click next. The first, let's say this definition, abiotic, you have some pictures to help remind you, and then the definition shows up afterwards. So what you'll do is say, okay, let's see, biotic. And the student will say, well, can I remember the definition? And they try to say it out loud or remember it, and then they click next to test themselves. So biotic is a living parts of the environment. They know if they got it right, they can move on. If not, they might want to spend time studying it. So that's another way to study. So there's several tools here. Scatter again down here. Several tools for you to use to study vocabulary. You can use this as extra practice. Catch up anytime you have to do a retake for a test. I would recommend coming down here and reviewing all the vocabulary all over again. So that's vocabulary. That's probably the resource that you would use the most to study. Some of the other things here, we have documents page. Click on homework. Usually I link all of the documents on the day that we do them, but let's say you want to go back and see the entire list of documents and try to find something, that's here, and you can download it. They're sorted by topic, like the 3 cells things I have. This is going to grow as the year goes on, but that's what we have so far. Now, let's say I download all these Word documents because that's how I make them. How do I actually open them if I don't have Word? Well, I have 2 options for you here. OpenOffice is a free version of basically Office, and it can open Word documents. So you can download that for free. The only thing, sometimes it might change the layout slightly or the font, so things might look a little funny, but you can still open things and print them. Or you can use Google Docs. You set up an account and you don't have to download software, and usually you can open most Word documents that way. That's also a good program. The next thing I have under documents is my PowerPoints link. And that'll actually take you to this separate website where I've uploaded all of my PowerPoints. Or at least there are several here, but I have much more that'll be uploaded as we go along, because I found this site at the end of last year. So some of the stuff that we're doing in ecology isn't here yet, but it will be. So what you can browse or search and try to find the PowerPoints we've used, or I'll provide a link to them in the actual agenda page. But for instance, let's click on Cells Review, and the PowerPoint that I had for reviewing cells will be right here. The nice thing about this is you don't actually have to download it. If you don't have PowerPoint, you can view it right here. Just click next to go through all the slides that I have. And let's say you really do like it and you want to have it on your computer for some reason, you can click download. Let's say you hate it, you can click thumbs down. You love it, you can click thumbs up. You can also search what other teachers have if you need more help. You can come up here and search for that. So that's my SlideBeam site, PowerPoints, that you can find there. Then under Notes, this is another very helpful thing for you to help know what it is that they need to learn about the science concept. So here under Ecology Notes, I have them listed by unit. So for Unit 1, we're going to learn about ecosystems and interactions. And what I have done is split that unit into 3 main topics. What is an ecosystem, interactions between organisms, and population. So you can click on each individual topic to find what it is they need to know about that particular topic. Now, each one of these sets of notes will have a quiz. So, for instance, this is what they need to know about ecosystems. When they have ecosystems quiz, it could be on anything on this page. We'll go back to ecology notes. When we get to the test, you want to know everything about ecology. So you click all Unit 1 notes, and I put everything on the same page so it's nice and easy. So here's everything they need to know for the first test, plus the vocabulary, if it's not listed on here, that they'll need to know. So it's not overwhelming. It's a reasonable amount of things. And I try to make it short and concise so you're not spending a lot of time trying to figure out what to study. Now, let's say you don't want to look at it online. You want to take it with you. You can click on the print page, and it brings you to a printable view that you'll be able to print without all these extra pictures and sidebars and things. So that should work. If it's not working for some reason or it's not there, you can always scroll down to the bottom on any page of my website. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can click print page. So all I really did is copy that link and put it on the top so you'd find it better. But you can always print it by going all the way down to the bottom. So that's notes. And then links here. This kind of you might want to spend your own time exploring. What I've done here is I'm trying to organize links that anytime I find something on the internet that's helpful, maybe it's a fun activity, a cool website, whatever, I try to put the link here so I don't forget about it. And I'm trying to now organize them better by, as you can see, I started doing here by topic, by the type of link, like this is interactive or a quiz, an animation, a lab that you can do online, a short description. So currently, most of the links are just flat out thrown on here, so that way I had a place to put it. I'm slowly going to be organizing them down here like this. So it's something you can check out. You don't have to go to. These are things, some of them we'll use in class for them to learn. There might just be things that, if a student just happens to love ecology and they want to find stuff to do for extra credit or just for extra learning, they can do that. And so there's various things you can check out on your own. Other miscellaneous resources I have down here, like I have a page dedicated to my class pets where you can find information about them. The syllabus that gives you all the topics that they need to learn. The standards, which is what we base our curriculum on. Web tools and software, stuff that you can use for making PowerPoints, stuff like that. The online textbook is a big one. You can click on that. And it has a link in the login information right there. And so you'll never have to take your book home because it's right here on the internet. Online assignments are things that I'll use in class. We'll go to the computer lab and do the assignment online. I just archive them there. You might not need to go there. I have videos. So far, it's kind of thin. But I'm adding stuff as I find them that are cool. I'll put videos. Some of these I'll show in class. Some of these I won't. They'll just be interesting stuff that they might want to look at while they study. Like this is a video about parasites called Body Invaders. They can watch it. So some extra studying materials here. I'm going to try to add more as the year goes along. And if you find something awesome, let's say you're studying with your kids or you're a student and you're just Googling things, you find a really cool video, you can email it to me and I'll add it to my website. Articles, just general stuff like genetics articles here I have. And the last part of the website here, after articles, I have test prep. Now this is a little thin right now. I'm adding to it. Like if I click on CRCT resources, I think I just dumped links here just so I can have for later. So you can check it out. Or click on OAS practice test. This is going to get more organized in the near future, so bear with it. It's got the info for how to get CRCT practice tests. But anyway, just know that it's here, and in a few weeks, I'm going to have practice tests before the first ecology test. I'll have ecology practice tests, so that'll be there. And by the end of the year, I'll have tests for everything, every topic for the CRCT by the time the CRCT rolls around. Now, another feature of my site, you can search for things. So if I'm studying ecology, for instance, and I want to figure out what resources I have, you see all these links on the side, but what specific things do I have for, let's say, abiotic, for instance? One word that I'm having a hard time with. Everywhere that shows up on my website will be right here. So it pulls up the notes. It pulls up where we talked about it, week 2. It pulls up ecology notes here. It shows the syllabus. All of the things on my website that have to do with abiotic. Or I actually made an ecology test. I just haven't linked it yet. So let's put that there. Just to show you an example of how my practice test will work. Here we go. Okay. So this is going to be an example of a practice test that you can actually come on and answer the questions. And it's in this little frame here. It was the only way to get it to work. And they can answer the short answer. Is this particular one. Most of mine will be multiple choice. This was just me kind of practicing. And I used another teacher's. But in the future, you'll see things like this, practice tests, that they can actually do. All right, so for the most part, that's most of the resources. There's a lot of stuff that you can check out on your own time and get more info about. Like, for instance, my little pet page, things that are fun for the kids. And this site is hopefully going to grow as the year progresses. I'm going to be able to be creating new things for it all the time. So some things might look a little thin or sloppy right now, but for the most part, most of the website that you need for sure is done. All the kind of fun stuff I'm kind of adding to it. So I appreciate you sitting through this video. I know I probably got a little long, but by understanding all of the things that you can use on my website, hopefully that'll help your students be more successful in this year. I'm looking forward to working with your students, and I'm sure it's going to be a great year. And best of luck to you. Thanks for checking out my website.